Okay, just take a second and imagine it. India, during Ganesh Chaturthi, the streets are just alive with color, right?
Oh, absolutely. That sound, the drumming.
Exactly, that constant rhythm of the drums and everyone chanting Gampati Bappa Moria, it just fills the air.
It really does. It's this incredible mix, ancient traditions meeting modern life.
And it's all meant to bring people together, these huge community celebrations.
That's the heart of it, fostering that unity.
Which is why what happened on September 8th, 2025 in Bhopal, it was so jarring.
Yeah, real shock.
This joyous ritual just took such a sharp, unexpected turn. Celebration turned into conflict.
And the tensions didn't just stay in Bhopal, did they? They spread.
No, they echoed much wider. And look, this isn't just about one single incident, you see.
It really throws into sharp relief that delicate balance, doesn't it? Maintaining harmony in such a diverse place.
Mm-hmm. How traditions meant to unify can sometimes, under certain pressures, become fragile.
Exactly.
And exploring that fragility, that's really why we're doing this deep dive today. We want to unpack what happened in Bhopal, understand the background, the context.
And see what it tells us about that bigger picture of cultural harmony.
Yeah, connecting these seemingly isolated moments to maybe a broader pattern. So let's get into it.
Okay.
Now, Ganesh Chaturthi is, it's such a core celebration. Lord Ganesha, the elephant-headed god.
The remover of obstacles.
I love it.
Read everywhere.
Right. And the festival itself runs for 10 days. It's quite an undertaking.
It really is. You see these amazing idols, beautifully crafted, set up in homes or in those public pandals.
Those temporary structures, yeah, often really elaborate.
Incredibly decorated. And for
Yeah.
10 days, it's constant worship prayers, offerings.
Especially those sweets, the modaks.
Ganesh's favorite, right? And the artists, those evening songs with the lamps. It's very participatory.
Definitely. Then comes the big finale, the Visarjan, the immersion.
Which is always quite emotional, actually.
It is. After days of worship, the idol is carried in this huge procession.
Often very loud, very energetic processions.
Yeah, down to a river or a lake or the sea. It's symbolic, isn't it? Ganesha returning home.
Like saying goodbye to a loved guest knowing they'll be back next year. It's a powerful moment.
But the timing in 2025 was interesting. A key detail for our story.
Yes, the lunar eclipse. That shifted things.
Right. The eclipse was on September 7th. So many groups delayed their immersions until the 8th.
Because tradition often sees eclipses as a kind of pause on sacred activities. You wait until it passes.
So that meant potentially more processions, more crowds happening on that Monday, September 8th.
Definitely a factor to consider. More people, more activity concentrated on one day.
Okay, so let's place ourselves in Bhopal. It's known for its lakes, its history.
Beautiful city, historic mosques, a real mix of cultures living side by side for a long time.
Generally known for a certain level of coexistence, you'd say?
Historically, yes, it has that reputation, which makes the incident even more striking, perhaps.
Okay, so picture Monday night, September 8th, 2025, in Bhopal.
Right. There's a local group, the Hindu Ekta Navyuvak Ganesh Utsav Samiti. They'd organized their own celebration.
They had their idol set up in Shadpura colony, and the group was led by a guy named Monu Kushwa.
Mm-hmm.
So they start their procession. They're heading towards Katlapura Gut on the upper lake.
A very popular spot for the Visarjan, yeah. Lots of processions end up there.
You can imagine it dancing, singing, the idol on a decorated truck. Just pure festive energy.
The kind of scene you expect, full of devotion and celebration.
But then around 9:30 that night, they're passing through an area called Arif Nagar.
Which is known to be a locality with a pretty diverse population.
And that's where everything changed. According to the reports, this is the flashpoint.
Right, this is where the narrative shifts dramatically.
Because the allegation from Monu Kushwa, the organizer, was serious. He claimed men started throwing stones.
Stones hurled at the procession and even at the idol itself.
Yeah, and reportedly, the stones came from behind a place of worship in that area.
Which, if true, adds another layer of sensitivity, obviously.
And the idol was apparently damaged. So you go from celebration to just instant shock and anger.
A feeling of violation, absolutely.
Yeah.
During a really significant ritual.
So what happened right after? Chaos, basically.
Pretty much. The participants were enraged. They stopped the whole procession right there.
And they blocked the road.
Yes, near the Digri Bungalow Crossing. That's a major intersection, the Deputy Inspector General's residence area. So very visible.
It wasn't just a random disruption then. It was a protest born out of feeling attacked during something sacred.
Exactly. It was a direct response to that perceived violation.
And word gets out fast in a situation like that, right?
Like wildfire?
Mm-hmm.
The area became very tense very quickly. Locals gathered. The atmosphere just soured completely. Unease, anger.
So a tense situation.
Yeah.
How did the authorities handle it?
Well, the police response seems to have been quite swift. They needed to prevent things from boiling over.
Yeah, you'd have to move fast.
Forces from at least 10 nearby stations reportedly flooded the area, trying to create a buffer, restore some order.
And the police commissioner, Harinaryanchari Mishra, he commented, didn't he?
He did. He confirmed they got the situation under control. Importantly, without major violence escalating further.
Okay, that's crucial.
And he mentioned an FIR. A first information report was filed against unidentified people. But he also stressed investigations were ongoing to, quote, verify if stones were actually pelted.
So a measured statement, acknowledging the complaint, but also emphasizing the need to confirm the facts.
Which is standard procedure, but highlights the tightrope walk. For law enforcement in these moments, act fast, but also be thorough and impartial.
But impartiality wasn't exactly the mood among some community leaders. The outrage was palpable.
Understandably, yes. Chandrasekhar Tiwari, who heads the larger Hindu Utsav Samiti.
Right, the umbrella organization.
He was very vocal, expressed real frustration, pointed to the damaged idol.
And he questioned the security arrangements, didn't he? Like, why wasn't this prevented?
He did. He asked why authorities hadn't ensured better security, and he demanded immediate action.
He used some strong language, too, warning about potential retaliation.
Yes, mentioning potential retaliatory action,
Yeah.
possibly leading to a curfew if authorities didn't act decisively. That shows you the depth of the anger.
It really does. And then the politicians got involved.
Almost immediately. Local leaders weighed in, which quickly amplified this situation.
Like the BJP MLA, Rameshwar Sharma, he visited the site.
Yes, and he made that statement. Ye biryani khilane walon ki sarkar nahi hai.
Which translates roughly to, this isn't a government that feeds biryani to troublemakers. Pretty pointed.
Very pointed, signaling a hard line against anyone seen as causing trouble and framing it politically.
And Minister Vishwas Sarang echoed that sentiment, too.
He did, saying basically that every Sanatan festival in the state would be celebrated fully and anyone interfering wouldn't be spared.
So you see how a local incident immediately gets swept up into broader political narratives and governance issues.
It happens incredibly fast. These events rarely stay purely local.
And on the investigation side, anything concrete emerged?
Well, an FIR was filed that actually named a few individuals, Sahil Baka Yamin and Aleem, linked to the alleged idol damage. So specific suspects were identified quite early.
Okay.
And interestingly, an older FIR apparently surfaced during the digging, hinting at maybe some previous tensions in that specific Aref Nagar area.
Ah, so that raises the question. Are these flare-ups spontaneous, or do they sometimes ignite on top of existing frictions?
That's a crucial question, isn't it? Are these isolated sparks or fuel on existing embers? It's often hard to tell definitively from the outside.
It is, and this point about prior tensions, or maybe just the potential for clashes, it leads us somewhere pretty concerning.
Because the Bhopal incident, sadly, wasn't unique. Not even that week.
Exactly. This is where we see a pattern emerging that's, frankly, quite disturbing.
Right. Just the day before, September 7th, 2025, there was a similar incident in Burhanpur district, also in Madhya Pradesh.
Stone pelting again?
Yes, outside a Ganesh Puja Pandal in a village called Biroda. A few villagers were injured. Police made arrests 7 people, reportedly.
And Minister Sarang commented on that one, too.
He did. Same message, essentially. Disruptions won't be tolerated. Madhya Pradesh is peaceful. Strict action ordered. A consistent line from the state government.
Okay, so 2 incidents back-to-back in the same state. But it didn't stop there.
No. If we look further afield, that same weekend, things flared up in Karnataka, Mandya district.
Mador town, right. Another Ganesh Immersion procession.
Exactly. September 7th again. And again, stone pelting marred the event. Reports said at least 8 people were injured.
And the response there?
Over 20 arrests were made. But it didn't end there. There were protests afterwards.
Right-wing groups called for a ban, a shutdown.
They did for September 9th. And police had to use lathi charges, baton charges, to control the crowds that gathered.
So that escalated significantly. Were there details about where the stones came from in Mandya?
Reports mentioned stones being thrown from rooftops, and some specifically alleged they came from a mosque nearby. Again, adding that sensitive communal dimension.
It's a recurring theme in these accounts. And the pattern keeps going.
It does. We heard about similar trouble in Andhra Pradesh, Partila village, same weekend. Stone pelting, a devotee injured during an immersion.
And even outside India.
Yes, in Nepal. Janakpurdam. A Ganesh procession faced stones back on August 31st, just before these incidents. That led to clashes, police using tear gas.
Wow. So when you line them all up, Bhopal, Berhampur, Mandya, Andhra, Nepal, it's hard to ignore.
It really is. Connecting these dots reveals this troubling pattern. It's not just isolated trouble spots.
It's tension and conflict bubbling up repeatedly during these really significant cultural moments across different regions.
Exactly. It suggests something more systemic, perhaps.
Yeah.
Deeper fault lines that these events expose.
Maybe underlying tensions that find an outlet during these highly visible, emotionally charged religious activities.
It could be factors like maybe growing urban density pushing different communities closer together, or even the way these events are amplified online now.
Yeah, social media can pour fuel on the fire sometimes.
It can turn minor incidents into major flashpoints very quickly, feeding anxieties and, well, sometimes being exploited by those wanting to create division.
It's a really sobering picture when you look at it all together.
It is.
So we've seen how these moments of deep cultural meaning, festivals like Ganesh Chaturthi meant for unity, can become these flashpoints. Often the trigger seems to be alleged disruptions during processions.
And the challenge this poses for, just maintaining harmony in diverse societies is immense, isn't it?
Absolutely. When joy and tradition, things designed to bring people together, end up causing division and unrest, it tells you something about the pressures at play.
It points to a very delicate balance, easily upset. It makes you think about trust between communities, about the narratives that take hold.
Definitely. It goes beyond just the immediate police response or political statements.
Much deeper.
So that really leaves us and you, our listener, with a pretty heavy question to think about. When these sacred rituals, which are so central to identity and community life, become sites of conflict, what does that do long term?
What's the impact on trust? On just the basic fabric of people living together peacefully?
And maybe more pointedly, how can societies, individuals, communities, institutions actively work to build genuine understanding?
Yeah. How do we ensure that celebrating cultural identity strengthens communities instead of, becoming a source of friction?
Something important to reflect on. We hope this deep dive gave you some food for thought.
We'll catch you next time.